There's a lot of people that have a lot of negative stuff to say. There's a lot of people who have a lot of opinions, but when you prove them wrong, you really don't have to say shit to them.
Jalen Brunson is a nice player. Hope the brother comes, hope he gets paid. But the Knicks are acting like he's KD. I'm gonna repeat, Jalen Brunson.
The Knicks are back. They got Jalen Brunson.
No, they're not.
Listen, the Knicks are so desperate to be relevant that you can't kill them. But Jalen Brunson's a nice player, and I know he played great against Utah, and I know he averaged 60, but it's still Doncic's team. But, I mean, do we think Brunson is a guy that is going to bring them to a second-round playoff series? He's not.
And even after the Knicks have capped a historic playoff run, beating the Spurs in 5 games, where Jalen Brunson scored 45 of the Knicks' 94 points, analysts still don't see Jalen Brunson as the superstar he is. The analysts continue to get it wrong.
Basketball is overwhelmingly, even now, it's not a center league, but it's a 3-and-D league. It is a length sport. It is a wing league. He is a remarkable player, but it's just like the last 8 champions. There are no great teams. There are spectacular in-the-moment lightning-in-a-bottle teams, which the Knicks were. But we were asking questions last year about Brunson in Indiana being like, ugh, Cat and Brunson can't play together.
Yeah, and then they just went 15-1.
Yes.
And shattered the point differential for the playoffs. And you're saying last year we were asking questions about Jalen Brunson. Right now I'm asking questions about Cade Cunningham. Today.
Analysts and fans don't know ball like the players do. So what do the players actually say about Jalen Brunson? And no, I'm not talking about the ones that are just plain haters. I'm talking about the ones that are actually going to give real analysis about Jalen Brunson, the player. What do they see that these analysts refuse to acknowledge?
First of all, the number one characteristic for me is, and last year is Clutch Player of the Year. This year, I believe, Shea. Last year was Jalen. Is his will to win. Right. His will to win. And I would say one of the things that I love about him, beyond the shot making, is he's so smart at using his body. Yeah. We know he plays off 2 feet. Mm-hmm. We know he's got incredible touch on those drives where guys, and he's able to just float the ball in the basket. It's almost not a floater, not a layup, not a runner, but it's just like a shot on the move with a guy tattooed to him.
It's what we will say is off timing.
Yeah.
Or if you're guarding him, you can't time it because you don't know when he's going.
It's not natural.
Yeah, it's not natural. Like he goes and then he just kind of tosses it up there.
Boom, boom, instead of boom.
Yeah,
boom,
exactly. So now you know. Yeah, exactly. So now you know I have to get it up. But like as a defender, he gets you sometimes. He gets you leaning, and then he
makes them.
Yeah.
But yet all we hear leading up into the playoffs is how each team has their version of the Brunson stopper. First it was going to be the Hawks. He's not going to be able to deal with the length then. And then it was looking at the Philadelphia 76ers and saying how they were going to be able to shut down Brunson. And oh no, they didn't. But don't worry, Cleveland has players like Wade who were going to be long and lanky and give him problems. And then that didn't stop anything. And then the Spurs saying, oh, but no one has defenders like the Spurs do. Well, that might be true, but they couldn't stop Jalen Brunson. He is able to get more points in the paint than a 7'4" center is. Let that sink in. His shot-making ability to keep you off balance while he's on balance. His ability to body control, like Steve Nash said, and to do off-timing things, like LeBron said. These are little tiny things that have real implications in game. And it's more than just athleticism. It's more than just leadership. It's what starts to make Jalen Brunson unguardable. Yes, you can press him. Yes, you can try to get physical with him and the refs don't call anything, which we saw in the finals. But still, even through all of that, when the game was on the line, and whenever the game is on the line in the fourth quarter, everyone in the building knows who the ball is going to. It's going to Jalen Brunson. But even more than that, listen to what Steve Nash says about the way that Jalen Brunson is able to use his body control.
Is using the body and cutting guys off. And so like one of the, there's variations of that. There's one using your body to get off 2 feet and play. There's one where you have half an advantage, where you steer him away from the pocket of space so you can then go back to the pocket of space. And the last one is how he gets in front and just stops. And what is important as a I can relate as a non-NBA athletic dude, is that a small guy is, what happens is, by getting in front of your guy, close out, pick and roll, whatever it is, by cutting him off, one, he can run you over. That's a foul. Now he's got to be more conservative. So you're setting the terms how he plays against you. But two, as you cut him off, your big's rolling, or your big's in the dunker, you're creating a big pocket. You've stopped the game. Game stops, and now, if that big wants to step up, you're looking right at the lob. Right? If that corner guy wants to come in, you're seeing that. And you say, okay, the game's going to restart when I say so. And now we play 4-on-3, 3-on-2, 2-on-1. He's so good at taking those little advantages or big advantages, stopping the game, creating a space for himself, and asking the defense, who's going to come guard this space? Because if you do, I play him behind.
When someone starts scoring basket after basket, getting stops on the defensive end, and they continue to get bucket after bucket, what do we say they're doing? They're taking over the game. And that's exactly what Steve Nash explained, that the way Jalen Brunson goes at a defense puts himself in control of everything. It's what every great and amazing player does. They take over the game. They dominate and do whatever they want and put the defense in a position where it's predictable and I'm able to make the play that I know I need to make. And with Steve Nash breaking it down this way, it starts to explain why Jalen Brunson at times is so unguardable, because he's able to make the defense, even the defensive player of the year, do what he wants. It's the nuanced comments like this that the former players are able to see and recognize, while the analysts and the fans just want to hate on Brunson because they don't like his game. But it's more than that. It's more than his footwork. It's more than his control. It's more than his leadership. Listen to this last little bit that LeBron throws in there that he thinks could even be a contributing factor to why Jalen Brunson is as hard to guard as he is.
And also add on to that, he's a lefty, which also changes it too. Our league is so, 90% of our league, 95% of our leagues are righties, and the lefties that's dynamic in our league is sometimes just hard to kind of get a cadence of that. The Manu Ginobili's, the James Hardens, the, now the Jalen Brunson, it's a different feel when a guy's coming at you lefty, so that I think that plays a little bit into it. I don't know if anybody's ever said that, and I could be wrong, but I also could be right. I think being a lefty too, when you're that dynamic, it just gives the defense and the defender a little bit more of a headache.
And it gives the defense absolutely on an individual basis or team basis, but like, how do you scheme for him? Because, he's quite comfortable to shoot a hand-in-the-face 3 off the dribble if you give him a little gap. So that brings you all the way up. So then he creates that little advantage with the body, whether he cuts you off, whether he takes you away from the space, or whether he plays off 2 feet. So what do you do? Like, getting in the gaps is so hard because he's so efficient at getting his slight advantage and using the straight to the hoop space instead of curving one way, spinning. He's very in his short lane. The gapping, it's really difficult to gap him because you have to overcommit so much.
And like you said, we said in game one you mentioned in game one they made those threes. So that it puts so much pressure when they're at their best. Mikal Bridges is knocking down shots. OG's knocking down shots. Josh Hart knocks in a couple. you already know what Cat's ability to do. So you're not going to be too far in on him anyways because his ability to shoot the ball. You know, and Shamlin been shooting the ball. Like I said, Deuce been shooting the ball. So JC Jordan Clarkson could come in and knock some down. So like we mentioned earlier, they've done a great job of surrounding him with the perfect pieces that allows him to be the perfect himself.
He's a lefty. It can change things. It changes the angles. Now, yes, it just means you have to play him a little differently. I don't know that it's as big an impact, but hey, I'm not a former NBA player, so that's LeBron and Steve Nash saying that. But you want to pick up on the last thing that they said that often is getting discredited because people are talking about, hey, it was a weak East. People are talking about, hey, it was a young Spurs team. And the Spurs analytically won some of those games. They choked them away. The Knicks didn't actually win it. Put all that aside. When you maybe even finally get to stop Jalen Brunson once or twice, like Cleveland did, what happens? Other players, because it's not a solo sport, other players step up, and we saw that all throughout the playoffs. Deuce McBride stepped up. You saw Josh Hart dropping 30. OG Anunoby had some of the most clutch shooting in the finals, especially in Game 4, and that's what ends up happening. Fine, get the ball out of Brunson's hands. He's going to make the right play, the right pass. Yes, he might turn it over a few times. Yes, he might make mistakes. He's human after all, but there is no one in the NBA today that I would rather have the ball in their hands in the fourth quarter of a game where I need to get buckets. It's just the plain truth. And as the analysts want to choose Cade Cunningham and Cooper Flagg and all of these other players ahead of Jalen Brunson, I think I'm going to stick with number 11. I'm going to go with what LeBron thinks, with what Steve Nash thinks, with what Dirk Nowitzki and Derrick Rose and so many other players, Chris Bosh, you can go down the list of current and former players who have nothing but amazing things to say about Jalen Brunson and would be glad for him to have the ball in the last minute of a game they need to win. And I think that says everything we need to know.